In human history, there existed a nation whose architectural skill and power were unmatched. A people who did not build houses of clay, but instead carved magnificent palaces directly into solid marble and massive mountains. These were the people of Thamud. Allah blessed them with immense favors, but their very strength became the source of their hollow pride. In today's video, we will recount the story of Prophet Salih and his nation, a story of how a living miracle emerged from a lifeless rock and how, in just 3 days, a mighty empire was turned into a graveyard. After the destruction of the people of Ad, the nation of Thamud emerged as a great power on earth. Allah granted them the skill to carve mountains as easily as one might carve wax. In Surah Al-A'raf, verse 74, Allah states, Translation: And remember when He made you successors after Ad, and settled you in the land, and you take for yourselves palaces from its plains and carve from the mountains homes. In the midst of this nation, Allah sent Prophet Salih. He was a respected and wise man from among their own noble families. He said to his people, O my people, worship Allah. You have no deity other than Him. But the leaders of the nation mocked him and labeled him as someone under a magic spell. As the message of Prophet Salih began to spread, the powerful leaders decided to humiliate him with an impossible demand. They pointed towards a specific massive rock and said, O Salih, if you are truly truthful, then bring forth from this lifeless stone a she-camel that is gigantic and 10 months pregnant. Prophet Salih took a promise from them. If Allah showed them this miracle, would they believe? They agreed. He prayed to Allah, and suddenly the rock split open. Right before their eyes, a grand, red-colored pregnant she-camel emerged. This was the Naqatullah, the she-camel of Allah. This she-camel was no ordinary animal. It was a clear test for the nation. Allah decreed a law for the distribution of water. In Surah Al-Qamar, verse 28, it is stated, Translation: And inform them that the water is shared between them, each party's share of drink being attended by turns. It was decided that the she-camel would drink from the well for 1 full day, and no other animal would drink on that day. The next day, the people would take their share. On the day the she-camel drank, she gave so much milk in return that the entire tribe could fill their vessels. Prophet Salih warned them, Do not touch her with harm, or a painful punishment will seize you. The 9 wicked leaders of the nation hated this arrangement. Their hatred grew until they plotted to destroy this miracle. One night, a wretched man named Qudar bin Salif ambushed the she-camel, hamstrung her, and killed her. When Prophet Salih learned of this, his heart was filled with grief. He told his people, You have destroyed the sign of Allah. Now, you have only 3 days remaining. In Surah Hud, verse 65, it says, Translation: But they hamstrung her, so he said, Enjoy yourselves in your homes for 3 days. That is a promise that will not be denied. Before the punishment arrived, the color of their faces began to change. On the first day, their faces turned yellow. On the second day, they turned red, and on the third day, they became pitch black. On the morning of the 4th day, as the sun rose, a horrific sayha, a thunderous blast, descended from the sky. The sound was so powerful that their hearts burst within their chests. They fell lifeless in their magnificent palaces, face down. The very mountains they considered their fortresses could not save them from the wrath of Allah. Even today, in Mada Salih, Saudi Arabia, their carved mountains still stand, calling out to humanity to never be arrogant with the power given by Allah. Prophet Salih and his few believing followers were saved, while the arrogant nation became a story of the past. Friends, this event teaches us that even after witnessing miracles, if the heart remains hard, one stands on the brink of destruction. May Allah grant us the ability to recognize the truth. Ameen.